if a woman was to end up in a relationship with a man who is overly preoccupied with his mother and so ends up spending most of his time doing things for her and being focused on her needs and neglects his own life and most of his own needs, she could wonder what is going on. Because he will be a grown man, so he won't need his mother to survive and he will have his own life to lead. But for some reason he will be focused on her. She will be the center of his life. And at this point, if the woman was to speak to the man about this, speak to her partner, he could end up denying what she has said. And he could even end up becoming defensive and accuse her of being needy or as having something against his mother. And so at this point, it will be clear that he is not ready to accept that he is living in a way that is not serving him and that he is out of balance. But after a while, after many months perhaps, or maybe even longer, he could accept that he is living in the wrong way. There is also the chance that he could end up being this way for the rest of his life. And even after his mother was to pass on, he could still be unable to live his own life because, of course, she won't be here, so he won't be focused on her. But he still won't be able to live his own life. And in order for the woman to understand why a man is this way, what she can do is to pretend that he is not a man, that he is a boy. Because although physically he will be a man, most likely at an emotional level he will feel like a boy. But he won't just feel like a boy that is happy and his needs are being met, so he is in a good place. He will feel like a boy who has been mistreated and neglected. And so even though he is a man, as he feels like a boy, he will still have the need to be around his mother, because obviously as a child he needed his mother to survive, and he only would have felt whole and complete when he was around his mother. And as he still feels like a boy, he will still need his mother, because deep down he will believe that without her he won't survive and he will feel empty and incomplete without her. And as to why he would be this way, although he is physically a man and his intellect may be very well developed, it will be necessary to reflect on what probably took place during his early years and the impact that this had on him. Because at this stage of his life, his mother probably used him to meet some of her adult and unmet childhood needs. And so most of his needs would have generally been overlooked, and he had to be there for her. So this would have meant that he wouldn't have received the right nutrients that he needed to grow and develop and to go from a boy into a man. And so physically and mentally he will have grown, but emotionally he will have stayed underdeveloped, and he will be carrying a lot of pain. And so being there for his mother will be a way for him to keep this pain at bay. And deep down, he can believe that if he continues to be there for her, then he will finally receive the love that he missed out on as a child. But of course, if his mother was unable to provide him with the right nutrients back then to love him, to really love him, then she probably won't be able to give these things to him now. And as he is an adult, it's too late. In order for him to feel whole and complete and to grow into an interdependent man and to feel like a man, he will need to grieve these unmet childhood needs. But due to the pain that he is carrying, he will need these defenses, so the denial and minimization and other things, to keep this pain hidden. Because if he was to come into contact with this pain and to face reality, it could end up wiping him out. And as he is emotionally underdeveloped, it won't be enough to simply For him to simply change his thoughts and behaviour, he will need to do some serious work on himself, deep work. Because if things only change on the surface, so his thoughts and behaviour, then he can go from playing one role to another, but he won't really be able to activate himself and to live his own life. And so if you're a man and you can relate to this, and perhaps part of you can see that you are living in the wrong way, then you will need to gradually face your unmet childhood needs and to grieve the losses inside you. Because if you tried to do this in one go, it would probably end up wiping you out and you could have a meltdown. So this pain will have to gradually be faced. And over time, through doing this, you will be able to emotionally grow up. But this is a process that can take many years. Certainly not going to happen in one session with a therapist or one weekend on a course or a week. It will take time. So you will need to be patient and persistent. And for this work to take place, you may need to reach out for the assistance of a therapist or a healer. But the main thing is that you take the first step and you keep going. Because you are not here to live someone else's life, you are here to live your life. And by taking action and by doing the work on yourself, you will be able to live a life that is worth living. And you will be able to actually connect to another woman because you will no longer be so caught up in your mother's world. So please don't suffer in silence. To find out more about the services that I offer and how I can assist you on your journey, go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk. I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.